In the ice, east of the Black Rock, there is a hole into which broken children are thrown. Yaz had always known about the hole. Her people called it the pit of the missing, and she had carried the knowledge of it with her, like a midnight eye, watching from the back of her mind. It seemed her entire life had been spent circling that pit in the ice, and that now it was drawing her in, as she had always known it would. "Hey!" Zine pointed. "The mountain." Yaz squinted in the direction her younger brother indicated. On the horizon, barely visible, a black spot, stark against all the white. A month had passed since the landscape had offered anything but white, and now that she saw the dark peak, she couldn't understand how it had taken Zine's eyes to find it for her. "I know why it's black," Zine said. Everyone knew, but Yaz let him tell her. At 12, he thought himself a man, but he still boasted like a child. "It's black because the rocks are hot and the ice melts." Zine lowered his hand. It seemed strange to see his fingers. In the north, where the Ichther normally roamed, the whole clan went so heaped in hide and skins that they barely looked human. Even in their tents, they wore mittens any time fine tasks were not required. It was easy to forget that people even had fingers. But here, as far south as her people ever travelled, the Ichther could almost walk bare-chested. Well remembered. Yaz would miss her little brother when they threw her into the pit. He was bright and fierce, and her parents' joy. "You've spotted it, then?" Quell came alongside them. He had no sled to drag and could move up and down the line, checking on the 30 families. He nodded towards the Black Rock. "I remember how big it is, but still, it always surprises me when we get close." Yaz forced a smile. She would miss Quell, too, even though at 17 he boasted nearly as much as Zine. "Always?" she asked. Quell had been to the gathering twice, once more than her. "Always." Quell nodded, almost concealing his grin. He held her gaze for a moment, with pale eyes, then moved on up the column. He passed Yaz's parents and uncle, who between them pulled the boat sled, pausing to swap a comment with her father. One day soon, he would have to ask her parents for permission to share Yaz's tent. Or so he thought. Yaz worried what Quell might do when the regulator picked her out. She hoped he would prove himself grown enough to embrace this fate and not shame the Ichther before the southern tribes. "Tell me about the testing," Zine said. Yaz sighed and leaned into the sled traces. She had, of course, told Zine everything 100 times over, but she had been the same herself before her first visit to the hole. "You'll be fine." Zine's worries were nothing. It was just the mind turning on itself when there wasn't anything to do but pull a load mile upon mile, day upon day. The journey had proved difficult, the ice rocking up before them in pressure ridges, as if seeking to impede their progress. For the last week, the pace had been grueling as the clan mother sought to make up lost time. Still, they would arrive a day before the ceremony. "Don't worry about it, Zine." On Yaz's first trip south, she had been sure the regulator would sniff out her wrongness. Somehow she had passed inspection. But that had been 4 years ago, and what had been starting to break within her back then was now fully broken. "You'll be fine." "But what if I'm not?" The sight of the Black Rock seemed to have opened the gates to her brother's fear. "The southern tribes are not like the Ichther, Zine. They have many that are born wrong. We have to be pure. Weakness was bred out of us long ago." She lied. "When you walk the polar ice, you were either pure or dead.